It may have been the different approach I had coming into this episode, or the fact that the Bad Batch had little to no role in it, but I loved this episode. I came into this immediately following watching a few episodes of the Clone Wars, so not only was I able to appreciate the animation more, but I think without the Bad Batch, I watched it thinking of it as an episode of that series rather than this one, which helped a lot with the return of the one and only Commander Cody. I immediately got excited when Rampart mentioned meeting a commander by the Battle Memorial because I knew who it was going to be from the trailers, but I still freaked out when he finally came on screen. Like I mentioned earlier, I saw a few episodes of Clone Wars before this, and seeing his transformation from one era to the next just made me more happy to see him again. I liked how a lot of the color in his armor was washed out, either becoming gray or just a lot darker, just reinforcing the Imperial's policy of everyone looking one and the same. Between the return of Cody and the story we got, I'll admit there wasn't a single moment during this episode where I found myself missing the Bad Batch, which to be honest I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. The episode opens up on Desix, and I was immediately intrigued by the new setting and its people. What I'm assuming was the capital city had a cool design, and Tawny Ames was such an interesting character for me. I just loved the vibes she was giving off, and what little dialogue she had fleshed out her history during the Clone Wars to the point where I was really hoping to see her make it out of this one alive, and we'd get more of her later. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but during that one scene between Ames, Cody and Crosshair, I knew exactly what was coming from Crosshair because he was off camera, but I was still hoping Cody would make an effort to have her safely released. That scene did an excellent job of showing where Cody is at right now, and that even though he went through with Order 66, and the transformation into the Empire, he still has his morals, unlike Governor Groudon and Crosshair, who Cody indirectly compares to a battle droid in a scene at the end that I loved. A big idea in the Clone Wars was that the clones were superior to droids because they had the ability to think for themselves, and in that scene, Cody basically calls Crosshair a battle droid because of his devotion to the Empire and being a soldier, to the point where it almost seems like he's brainwashed at times. But it does look like Cody's words may have had an impact on Crosshair, because it looks like he is feeling some guilt over what Cody said and his own actions, and he may start to come back around by the end of the season. We see him be the solitary clone as the title mentions, and Crosshair just doesn't seem to fit in with the Empire, despite being probably the most loyal soldier it has, so that may be something that leans him back the other way and leads to a reunion with the Bad Batch. I skipped over it earlier, but Ames also mentioned how she was friends with Mina Bonteri and their attempt at peace during the Clone Wars, which we saw play out in an episode that resulted in the assassination of Bonteri, but this just reinforces my theory that we're going to see Lux Bonteri at some point in the season. I think this may have been the episode from the trailer when I suspected we'd see him, but we did get his mother's name dropped, so it's entirely possible. We've also gotten a lot of the trailer footage already, so I think within a few more episodes we'll be seeing entirely new footage, and we'll have no idea what to expect each week. Going back to the beginning of the episode, we see Governor Groudon arrive on the planet and the Empire's desire to take over and rule despite it not being a part of the Empire, something we see become very common within the next decade, as they continue to expand their reach and take resources from even the farthest stretches of the Outer Rim. Being a separatist planet during the war, we see the return of B-1 battle droids as well as droidicas, and I absolutely loved the sass coming off of some of those battle droids. I'm assuming that was because they were reprogrammed, but that is definitely something I want to see more in the future. More sassy battle droids. The clones felt a little too good against them later in the episode, but the commando droids helped ease that feeling a little bit. I really enjoyed the Cody and Crosshair team up we got in this episode, and I liked the action a lot, as well as the music going with it, and shooting the blaster bolt straight up the cannon was something so unique and interesting that it caught me off guard. I knew that I shouldn't be rooting for the Empire in this situation, but I still found it hard because I enjoyed following the clones so much and seeing them infiltrate the city. The episode proved to me that the reason I haven't been enjoying the series is not because of the lack of Jedi, but it's just the Bad Batch as lead characters, so that does give me hope that I can start to connect with them and come around on the series as a whole, rather than me only really liking an episode once in a while. The episode ends with the reveal that Cody has gone AWOL, and while it was sort of predictable after that mission, I figured it would happen in a later episode, and that we'd actually see it happen, not to have it close out the episode. That does make me very excited for next week, where we'll probably see him reach out to the Bad Batch and we'll get to see them interact again, meaning that a Rex appearance may not be too far out either. I would love to see Rex and Cody back on screen again together. Despite the absence of the Bad Batch, Solitary Clone brings back a fan-favorite clone in a well-thought-out manner, developing both Cody's character as well as Crosshair during an entertaining story, earning a rating of 9 out of 10. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more reviews like this, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.